Hello once again. Today we learn how to align the collider to the boss. To fix the alignment, you need to know about the anchor of the collider. I'll be explaining what the anchor of the collider is and how to adjust it. Before I tell you about the anchor, it's a good idea to review what the hotspot is. The hotspot is a special point in your sprite. If you take a look at the SPR file of the B, you'll find a field called hotspot. You will also find another field called frame size. Frame size is the size in pixels of a single frame of your animation. If you pick a single frame, the two numbers of the hotspot field will tell you where the hotspot is in the image. In our example, the size of a frame is 74 by 80 pixels. The hotspot is located at X position 34 and Y position 67. Why is this important? It is important because this is the point that anchors the sprite. As you know, the boss has a position in space. A position in 2D space is just a point described by a pair of coordinates, x and y. The B, however, is a solid body, not just a point. It turns out that at the position of the B in 2D space, what will be displayed is the hotspot. This is what I mean when I say that the hotspot anchors the sprite. If we place the hotspot at the center of the sprite, what would show up at that position would be the center of the sprite. Since our hotspot is off-center, what shows up is this little point. Okay, now that we know what the hotspot is, let's go back to the collision. A collider has a special point called the anchor. That point will be used to correct the alignment. The anchor is like a hotspot for a collider with a few differences. By default, the anchor of the collider is set to be at its center. What this means is that the center of the collider will be aligned to the hotspot of the sprite. Do you see why the collider is not aligned to the B? It is not aligned to the B, but it is aligned to the hotspot of the B. Just notice how the center of the circle is at the hotspot. So you see, the anchor is aligned to the hotspot. Yet the anchor is at the center of the collider, and that is what is causing the misalignment. There are two ways to fix this. We can place the hotspot at the center of the sprite so it matches the anchor, or we can change the anchor so it matches the hotspot. We're going to be changing the anchor. In OpenSearch 0.6, we can fix the alignment just by typing collider.anchor equals actor.anchor. What this does is, it automatically finds the position of the anchor based on the position of the hotspots. Then it updates the anchor of the collider accordingly. Let's launch the engine and see. Do you see? It's aligned. That's really simple. In OpenSearch 0.5, however, that automatic solution is not available. So I need to explain a little bit more about the anchor. Remember that in the SPR file, you specify the hotspot using two numbers. If you pick a single frame of the animation of the bee, you can locate the hotspot using those two numbers. The anchor of the collider is also specified using two numbers, but these numbers are percentages. They are usually values between 0 and 1, or 0 and 100%. For example, an anchor at 0.5, meaning 50% in X and 50% in Y, is at the center of the collider. You can vary these numbers to get your anchor in different places. Now, take a look at these examples. Our goal is to align the anchor to the hotspots. If you would display your collider on top of the B, which of these anchors would be closest to the hotspots? Clearly, that would be 0.51. That point represents the bottom of the circle. So if we align the bottom of the circle to the hotspot of the bee, we will fix the alignment of the collider. Let's do that. Let's just write collider.setAnchor 0.51. Save the file and launch the engine. And here you go, it's aligned. So today we learned how to align the collider to the boss. We revealed what the hotspot is, and we learned what is the anchor of the collider. We also saw how to adjust the anchor automatically and how to adjust it ourselves using percentages. Later on, we will be learning how to make the player hit the boss and also get hit by the boss. See you next time!